Coach Brick's back with another one, Earth Strong, God's training podcast. All right, guys, Alzheimer's. What do we know about it? Why am I passionate about it? Um, and what are we going to do about it? All right. Alzheimer's is one of those things, dementia, all right, these brain disorders are one of these things that have really creeped up a lot over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Okay. There's many reasons for that, and I'm going to get into some of them and why. But this is a debilitating disease, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't just affect the person who has it. Yes, it stinks as they're going through that process early on because they can't remember basic things, so it frustrates them. But it really affects the person who has to take care of them. Okay, whether it's a family member, a spouse, kids, whatever, that's where the issue starts to come into play. Because you could have dementia, full-blown dementia, not remember anything, not be able to do anything really, besides walk around, eat, and those kind of things for 10, 15, 20 years. You might live that long. Okay. And we're seeing that these things, these effects are starting to hit people earlier and earlier. So what do we know about Alzheimer's? Well, we call Alzheimer's here dementia here, but really around the world, they call it type 3 diabetes. There's an insulin problem. Okay. Why we're not calling it that, I have no idea here. I don't know if it's a money thing that we can charge people, but we have to understand is the brain, all right, our brain is made up of 60% fat. Okay. 25% of the cholesterol that we have in our bodies is in the brain. Now, remember what they keep pushing. Lower your cholesterol, especially in the 90s. Lower your cholesterol, get on these statins, and lower your cholesterol. And dementia and Alzheimer's has blown up since then. The body needs cholesterol. Yes, an exorbitant amount of it is not always good. And the bad cholesterol, not a great thing. But cholesterol overall is not a bad thing. It's what the body needs. And this is where we just have so many things that are, are messing us up. Low cholesterol causes memory loss and brain fog. Okay, they know that. Now, they might not tell you that, but they know it. There's research in it. Listen, you guys can go look all this stuff up. This is what I do constantly. I'm not going to just give you every little thing out there. You guys have to, if you're really interested in it, go look it up or ask questions, right? This is what I do. Okay. And a lot of people don't want to do it for whatever reason. I don't know. But I do this constantly because I want to become as knowledgeable as I possibly can to help out my clients, to help out people who come to me with questions. Because I'm a natural guy. I want to solve this stuff the way God intended. That's why it's called God's training. This is about God. God made us a certain way to live a long life, healthy life, not stuck on drugs, not stuck on all these things, these oil-based products that are just killing us, right? They mask symptoms. We think they extend our life. They're killing us. We need to get back to the way God intended us. And that's why we start to have to understand how our brain's made up. 60% fat, we need to eat more what? Carbohydrates, right? Now, fat. Okay. We need to have more cholesterol, but good cholesterol. In that respect, and I'll go over a couple here. But what are some of the other things that are causing this? Okay, the toxins. The toxins that they put in our freaking in the air, the food, all that stuff is destroying us. And we do little about it because we want to just live a comfortable life and we don't really care. And if we get to 80, oh, that's great. You know what I mean? No, that's not it. That's not what God asked us. Such as fluoride. I'm not going to do this whole thing on fluoride now, maybe another topic, but fluoride's bad for you. I'm sorry. I know they told you it was good for you. It's bad for you. Go look it up. You can see the research that is coming out greatly now, but it's horrible. So it's in your water. It's in your tap water. Now, thank God I'm not on that. I have a system that cleans all that crap out. Thank God. Okay. Aluminum. Hmm. You say, Dave, I don't eat any aluminum. I don't eat aluminum foil. What's in your vaccines? Aluminum. Okay, did you know that? And they say, what's a healthy dose? Tell me what a healthy dose of aluminum is. It's like mercury. Oh yeah, there's a healthy dose of mercury. Oh, we stand to that level. What level is that? How do you know? Right? The stuff in Roundup, Zyphite. All right, that. Okay, the stuff that they spray all over. You know what I mean? On a lot of these fields. Now I know there's a huge lawsuit out that they're trying to hear a case against it. So hopefully they'll ban that, which hopefully will be a great thing. Okay, I talked about mercury. These things are all bad, but yet you don't even know that you're taking them in because we're blinded by what's going on. Like I said, we want convenience and we want comfort. We're not looking at the things that we should be looking at. right? So when I talk about this type 3 diabetes, which brain problems, which is dementia and Alzheimer's, it comes from excessive sugar. Our sugar intake has gone through the roof. Why? Because back in the 80s and 90s, we had a push on war on fat. Everything was fat free because fat was making us fat. Well, guess who pushed that? The sugar industry. You can look it up. There's an actual huge research on this. The sugar industry pushed this, right? So we would eliminate fat in everything because that was causing us to be fat. And then to make it taste good, we throw the sugar in. So let me put it to you this way. Ever have Gatorade, the original Gatorade, the stuff that they originally developed down in University of Florida? It tasted horrible. But outside of water, okay, with salt, not just plain water, because water doesn't hydrate you. Outside of water with salt, it was probably the best hydration source you could get outside of watermelons, water with salt, some of the food that we have. But it was probably the best thing you could get drink wise. Okay. But it didn't have much taste. So people weren't buying it. Kids didn't like the taste. They try to make, I remember the lemon lime, it still tasted like crap. But it was the most hydrating thing you could get because it was based correctly on what the body needed. Then somebody got a hold of it whenever they sold it. And somebody said, wow, nobody's buying it. So we got to make different flavors. We got to put sugar in it. We got to do this. And we got to add artificial this. And then look what happened to it. Now it's not even, I don't even know if it's a hydration drink. I think it's just Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? With a couple different properties in it. And I know there's Gatorade Zero, same thing, artificial flavors, artificial sweeteners, all that bullcrap in it. Just get rid of it, kids. You don't need it. You want to hydrate yourself, parents. Wake up to my hydration. I talk about it many times. Watermelon's one of the greatest things in cucumbers. Yes, that. Honey. Guess what? Water with salt. Not just plain water, water with salt. Okay. I'll talk about that another thing. But that's one of the things. So the excess sugar problem. The seed oils. Hopefully people are waking up to this. Your canola oil, your sunflower oil, vegetable, they're all fake oils. Okay. Olive oil, best. Number one, but you have to get good kind of olive oil. Unfortunately, because of the greed of the world, people say it's olive oil and they probably put a little bit in there, but they mix it with canola oil and all this other kind of crap. So it's not really real anymore. Um, I wish I could help you out on that one. There are places that you can go to get real stuff, but unfortunately, we have unethical people that try to steal money from people the wrong way. So look that stuff up. Avocado oil is good, but if you really want to bake, tallow, real tallow, okay, it's phenomenal. Coconut oil, phenomenal as well. All right. I eat coconut oil. Actually, I make my eggs with it, and then I give the excess coconut oil to my dog. Extremely beneficial for them. Okay, so that's what I do. I put a little bit extra in. Boom. Just so you know. Medication, another thing that hurts the brain. Sorry, that's an oil-based product. Pharmaceuticals, not a good thing. I understand some people need to be on them, but if you can start to learn how to wean yourself off, and there's programs that we're coming up with, I'm teaming up with somebody. We're going to start doing this stuff right. So you guys are going to be hearing about that very, very soon. I'm fired up for it, actually. The processed food industry is taking off. Convenience, processed food. I'm also a culprit of this. I do like certain things. Unfortunately, I need to work on myself on that part. But the processed food, the sedentary life has also done it, and I'm going to explain that in a second. And also the chemicals in our products, such as our cleaning products. Most cleaning products are harmful to us. Okay. Yes, they might clean something up, but they're harmful. You got to find very friendly cleaning products, and there are some out there. I know my wife does one. She does a mixture of stuff. It's phenomenal. She does it herself. It's phenomenal cleaning, and it's not harmful. Okay, but that's what's going on. So how do I combat this Alzheimer's? Okay, how do I combat? Number one, don't stop moving. Keep moving. I'm not going to say this is the end all that if you keep moving, you're never going to get it. That's not true either. But don't stop moving. Stop getting to a point where you think I'm retired and I'm going to live a sedentary lifestyle. Wrong, incorrect. Don't do it. Okay, not a good thing. All right. Second thing, fast. I know there's people out there saying fast, don't do this. Fasts are phenomenal. And if I had cancer, hopefully I never get it. I would go on a fast, a 7 day fast, something to that effect, probably 7 days. Water, maybe some coffee, tea, and some salt with water. Okay, that's it. The body has to clean itself out. If you think biblically, these people did not eat like we eat, most likely. They did not just sit there and eat, maybe besides all those kings that you see and stuff. And I don't know if they ate like that either. But most of the people who didn't have a lot of money probably didn't eat a whole heck of a lot. They learned how to do it. They might have ate one time a day, and that was it. There's no proof that they ate all the time. Okay. So we have to look at it like that, that our bodies were designed a certain way that they could feed on themselves and still live. So that's key. Okay. We also have to eat more biologically stuff that God created for us, natural stuff. Okay. And I talk about that meats that aren't shot up with antibiotics, or cows or chickens, things like that, fish. But you have to be careful because there's a lot of farm fish. And what I mean by farm fish is they're just in these big pools and they're disgusting. Okay. They shoot them up with all kind of chemicals. It's all disgusting. Wild caught salmon out in Alaska, probably the best stuff you can get. Okay. But most of the other fish, unfortunately, because of where they get it from, is not great. Um, so that kind of stuff is what we should be taking in. Fruit, very beneficial for us. I know there's a lot of people not, but you have to eat the ones with the seeds. Okay. Genesis talks about it, eat the fruits. Vegetables, and I'm going to get into this. I'm going to do a whole thing on vegetables, but not the vegetables that we see. Okay. I used to eat broccoli and carrots all the time raw, and my stomach was destroyed all the time. Finally, after about 2 or 3, 4 months of doing this, I finally did, dude, let me stop eating these things over a week and let me see if it happens. Dude, my gut cleared right up. Now, cooking them can help it out. We know that there's different properties from the raw to the cooked, but I try to stay away from those hybrid ones because broccoli and carrots are not real. They were made by man. They were crossbred. Okay. I try to find real vegetable stuff that's been around since the biblical times, and that's what you go with. Some tomato, not all tomatoes, okay, because we have so many different types of tomatoes. Onions, some onions, not all. You have to look them up. Leeks, those kind of things. But some of the other stuff out there, and I'll get into that another time, probably your best vegetable, I'm not going to mention it here. Um, and I have it on another podcast, is the one you should be taking in the most. Okay. So just something for you guys to ponder and look into. Um, but getting back to the whole thing, our brain needs to function all the time. So what would I do? I need to challenge the brain. It's just like a muscle. So as I age, it gets used to the same stuff over and over. I get work 40, 30, 40, 50 years. It's in the same field. Guess what? It's the same thing over. So how do I challenge it? Guess what? Crossword puzzles. Yep. Things that used to be in magazines and newspapers. Get a book, do crossword puzzles. It works the brain. Learn an instrument. Learn to speak a different language. Learn to use your opposite hand. So I'm right-handed. I start using my left hand to brush my teeth and do things. That helps out. Racket sports, I talk about this. Pickleball, those kind of things. These will all benefit you. So if you really truly want to start to learn about Alzheimer's and how to mitigate it, this is the way. But it goes back to the DNA. Why am I focusing so hard on this? Because I have a gene that makes me at higher risk for it. There's three genes, one that's really no risk, one in medium risk, and then one's a very high risk. I had the medium risk one. I have to work on this. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it. I'm not saying, and if you have the low risk one, doesn't mean you're not going to get it. I'm not God, so I can't decide it, but it just puts me at a higher risk. But at least I know now what I need to do. So those are the things. That's why DNA test is so important. That's why I keep pushing that so hard with people. But that's what Alzheimer's is. Okay. Brief overview of how to break it down, what we need to do, what's causing it. Like I said, I can go in much more detail. Like I said, I took a course on this. It's fascinating. Some stuff goes way over my head. I mean, the way they were talking about it, but I'm not a big guy on pushing drugs. I think there's other ways to do it, but you have to start and you have to do it. The earlier you catch it, just like with anything, the quicker you can reverse it. Once it gets to full-blown dementia, there's really nothing you can do because you just can't process anything. So get it early. All right. Guys, reach out with questions, comments, what I can do. All right. Have yourself a blessed day and God bless you.